Hi, my name is Maggie and I'm a ranger at Niobrara National Scenic River in Valentine, Nebraska. I'm coming to you from our visitor center where you'll see a couple chairs behind me with some building supplies for our Nature Creations activities today, some blankets and pillows. And this is a great space because it's pretty wide open and we have a clean floor. But Niobrara National Scenic River is known not only for its scenery and recreation, but also for geology, paleontology, and wildlife. So today we'll be exploring our wildlife on the Niobrara River. Did you know that there are over 240 different species of birds on the river? Really cool, right? So our national bird, can anybody name it? The bald eagle. Our national bird, the bald eagle, has some habitat and some homes along the Niobrara River. So today we'll be building, for our first activity, a nest, which is really fun. You can see in this picture that the eagle's nest has many different pieces and parts. It's built up of sticks and dirt and basically anything an eagle can find in its natural habitat. But it's kind of a feat of engineering. It's a really big nest and it needs to stay up in a tree where it can withstand wind and weather and rain and be a home for the bald eagle, right? This is where it lives. It's where it eats, it's where its babies stay. So we're gonna be building an eagle's nest in our living room, and imagine that it's somewhere where you get to hang out all day today. So you could put it in front of your TV, you could have snacks in it, you could take a nap in it. I'm gonna build my eagle's nest big enough for me because eagles are a really big bird. Eagles have a wingspan that can be up to 7 feet. I'm only 5.5 feet tall, so can you imagine even more? Even an eagle being even bigger than I am, not the bird, but just its wingspan when it spreads its wings out wide. So our eagle's nest needs to be really big. I have to be able to lay down in all directions, and that's how much room that eagle's gonna need to live every day. Watch me figure this out as we go. Look at that, all done. See how big my nest is? It's wider than I am. I can lay down in both directions. I think a bald eagle would be very happy in this nest. If you want to learn more about eagle's nests and how they're created, check out our video by Ranger Susan, and she'll tell you all about how eagles keep their nests up in trees, how they are engineering masters, and how eagles eat and live in a nest every day. Next, we'll be exploring one of our other feathered friends on the river. So check out what's coming next. We're gonna head back to the table in our visitor center, and we'll see you in just a minute. Wow, that was so fun. I had such a blast putting all of those different layers together for our eagle's nest. But now I'm thinking of an entirely different bird. There's one that likes to hunt at night. He's nocturnal. But can you guess what I'm thinking of? An owl, you're totally right. So our second activity for today is to make an owl out of our own hands. And he's white because it's winter right now. But my friend here is actually a great horned owl. And there's many different species of owl that live in Nebraska and thrive. So we'll be making our craft today in honor of the owls that live around the Niobrara National Scenic River. For our craft, you're going to need a glue stick, pencil, and scissors. Our snowy owl is white because it needs to blend into the snow during winter. So he's got a white body, which was made from a piece of white plain paper, and 2 hands for wings. These are my own hands and I traced and cut them out. and they're also on white paper. So you should need 2 pieces of white paper, and then we also have a template, which you can find on our website, for the eyes, the beak, and the claws or talons of the owl. And you could also draw your own and color them and cut them out if that's an option for you. And the final thing for our feathery snowy owl is that we need some feathers. So we're gonna use cotton balls today that we have unrolled a little bit so that they look more feathery, and we'll be gluing those to our owl's body. We're gonna pull the camera closer so you can see my hands, but I'm really excited to get this project going. So excited for hand snowy owls. So now that we've gathered all of our supplies, we can begin assembling our snowy owls. You'll see here on the corner of the table that I've got my example ready for you guys to look at, and it's got a white fluffy body for that snowy owl because we have the feathered look from those cotton balls. And then over the top, on the body portion, you'll see our template pieces for the eyes, the beak, and the talons. So we'll start by gluing our 2 hands to the body of our owl, which you will have cut from 2 plain pieces of paper. You can just freehand it, or you can use our template online. And we want the thumbs to be pointing down. That just gives our owl a more natural looking wing shape. So I'll use my glue stick to just put a little bit of glue where those hands will attach. And then I'll stick them right on, which is the fun part. And everybody's owl is gonna look a little different. You could have one wing higher, one wing lower. Some birds are flying, some are just sitting. But I now have the body of my bird connected to my wings, which is kind of fun. And yours might be a little smaller. I have big adult hands, but for any kids out there, yours might be just a little smaller, and that's okay because there's baby owls too. Next, we'll be putting our cotton balls on for our feathered look. And what I've done is taken my cotton ball and just grabbed a little bit and tried to unroll it because they're a little easier to glue on, and then it's easier to cover more distance, right? So see how this just lays over a finger really nicely. And then I could pull them in half for the body, which you'll see me do in just a second. But I'll take my glue and just start putting some glue on the fingers so that I can start attaching cotton ball strands to them. And I'm just gonna glue the whole thing. And you could use stick glue, you could use liquid glue, anything that you have at your disposal will work. So just do your best and know that your owl is your own and not anybody else's, which is really fun. It goes really fast when we have strings to work with and cover a lot of ground quickly. So we talked a little bit earlier about how snowy owls are nocturnal, so they hunt at night. Do you have any ideas about what a snowy owl might eat? That's right. Well, snowy owls hunt at night, so what else is out at night? Kind of like the rodents and maybe a possum. Owls actually eat small rodents, and so they help clean up kind of those animals that we don't love so much, but they're really good for the environment. I finished one wing, so I'm gonna move on to the next before I do the body. So I'll do the same thing on this other wing that looks like a hand. Is just put glue on those fingers and all over the palm so that those cotton strands stick. And they give me this nice feathered look like you can see on the other hand. And this goes really fast, fortunately. So it should be a quick craft, but you could, if you wanted to have a brown owl, you could maybe try to color your cotton ball strands or paint over them, or you could just color your hands and your owl body or use colored paper to make an owl like our great horned owl friend that we just met earlier in the video. because owls come in many shapes and sizes. There are some that are really small and some that are really big. Great horned owls are pretty big, and so are snowy owls. And because they hunt at night, they also have really good vision and hearing. So now I'm putting glue on the ears and the body of my owl, trying to just fill up that space with glue so that my cotton balls stick. And I'm getting this really nice feathery look on top of my owl. And if you've got cotton pieces that kind of stick out or maybe aren't your favorite, that's okay, because owls have feathers, and sometimes feathers don't always sit straight. But this owl is completely your own, so it doesn't have to look like anybody else's. It can just be yours. Almost done putting all of these cotton pieces on the body of my owl. It's turning out really good. I'm really excited about it. So I'll show you my finished feathers on my snowy owl. It's got 2 hands and the body with 2 ears that look really, really nice. And now we're going to be adding the eyes and the beak and the talons. So in order to catch all those rodents, owls need a different kind of hand than a paw, right? So our furry friends like dogs and cats, they have paws because they eat different kinds of food than an owl might. So we're gonna attach, I'll start with the eyes and then we'll do the beak and the nose. And we said earlier that owls hunt at night, so they need big eyes so they can take in lots of nighttime light from the stars and the moon. So our snowy owl has big eyes so he can see things in the dark. It's got a good beak for a nose, right? Because it's gotta be able to eat those prey, all those little rodents that it's gonna eat up. And then the talons are actually what they use to pick up their rodents. So an owl might fly and pick up a rodent using its talons. So I'm gonna attach those to the bottom of the body where the feet would go. And these talons have really, really sharp, almost claws at the bottom, because they've got to just kind of snatch those rodents up so that they have something to eat. And I'm all done. I've just finished my owl handcraft. My snowy owl has white feathers made of cotton balls, and it's got big eyes so my owl can see at night, and a good beak so he can eat his food. And then it's got 2 little talons at the bottom of the body for snatching up the prey, all the things that it needs to eat. If you want to share your owl handcraft with us, you can post it to social media and tag us at Niobrara National Scenic River, or hashtag Niobrara National Scenic River NSR, and hashtag Nature Creations, so that we know that your craft was made during our Nature Creations live event. Tomorrow we'll be coming to you talking about paleontology on the Niobrara National Scenic River, and we'll be discovering some really cool things about the early mammals of the world. So tune in tomorrow and we'll see you later.